Hello, and welcome to News at 10. I'm Hannah Hunter.
And I'm Chloe Rogerson.
And today is a special edition of us discussing whether or not the militant action by the suffragettes helped or hindered their campaign. Today, Miss Catherine Willis was lucky enough to get an interview with Mr. Sparks from the Gentleman's League. Over to you, Catherine.
This is getting out of hand. Women are pretty much assured the vote. And to be honest, it's all a bit ridiculous. You know, if we're giving women the vote, why not give babies the vote? You know, infant suffrage. Why not? Or, for example, give cows the vote, pigs or something. You know, why not give everybody the vote? This is ridiculous. Who even cares about women? Women should not have the vote. They are in a completely separate sphere to men, as are, you know, babies and every kind of thing that you could possibly think of. Men are the only things that should be allowed to vote because they have the intelligence and the education that enables them to think logically about who should be in charge of their country.
Thank you for your interview, Mr. Sparks.
And now it's time for an ad break. See you in a minute. Don't go away.
We're talking about the Consolation Bill, which was not passed. And our first guest is Miss Emmeline Pankhurst, who has got to say her opinion.
Hello. I believe that it's very wrong that this hasn't been passed because we as women need to have the vote. And we're not getting the vote, nothing is being done to sort that out. And we've been promised that there will be things done and that the Liberals will be supporting us, but nothing has actually been done about it. And that's my honest opinion.
So I think we should have Mr. Asquith's opinion to it. So here's Mr. Asquith. Hello.
Hello. Well, you see, you're being unfair because we did take it to Parliament and we did try to pass your bills, but it got talked out of Parliament. These things happen. We had higher priorities that needed to go through first.
You should have made our cause a priority.
How can we make yours a priority? Other people have had things before you. They need a passing before yours.
Okay, we don't have time for this. I'm sorry. But we have another guest, Miss Mary Richardson. See you.
I believe that it is high time that we start doing real campaigning. We need the vote, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do, and we have not been given it yet.
Yes.
And the only way we can get given it is through protest.
Yes.
True protest.
I think we should have Mr. Lloyd George's opinion to it. See you.
Well, see, Mary, you're talking about more radical action, but the whole matter of radical action is why you didn't get passed in the first place. What sort of what government is going to respond to women who act like savages?
The reason it didn't get passed is because you don't care. And you did not respond to us when we were protesting peacefully.
Yes.
This is the only option we have left.
How do you expect Parliament to treat women who have no respect for their country with respect as women? It's a completely irrational argument you're putting forward.
Okay, I think this is leading to nowhere. So our show is ending tonight. Thanks for watching.
Our cameraman Pete was on the floor on the day of Black Friday, and here is some footage that he has received.
Hi Hannah and Chloe. Today I'm on the floor of Black Friday. Today, the 18th of November 1910, after Asquith has failed to mention the Conciliation Bill while he was outlining government programme, he has had a protest group of suffragettes marching towards Parliament, but they were met with unexpected violence. The police have been instructed to push the women back through kicking them and punching their noses. Statements from 135 suffragettes testify the violence. A woman called Ellen Pitfield is in hospital in critical injury, and we expect her to die. Friday is a public relations disaster for the new government, as the newspapers will come down on the side of the suffragettes and print pictures of the police insulting unarmed suffragettes. The events of Black Friday are likely to be damaging to the suffrage campaign too, because it caused MPs to distance themselves from it. However, because women were attacked, they're going to get more support from the public than they do in the past.
Today Today was a very historic day in a great Liberal meeting. Correspondent Regina George is outside the Liberal meeting at this very second. Yes, over to you, Regina.
Votes for women! You help our cause? Why, you're its worst enemy.
Are there any more questions? Yes, you. What are you going to do about votes for women? Are there any other questions?
She asked the question.
She did. Are there any other questions?
Answer her question.
No, sensible questions from anyone. You said no.
I said, what are you going to do about votes for women?
Please sit down. There are other questions. Any other questions?
You still haven't answered her question.
Any other questions? Anyone? You, with a lovely hat.
What are you going to do about
Would you
votes for
please
women?
sit down, Laura? Well, have your question when you've heard what I have to say. You are bringing disgrace on an honoured name. Nothing would induce me to give votes for women, to vote for giving women the franchise. I am not going to be henpecked into a question of such importance.
So, what do you think about women's votes?
Women's votes, so everyone that's
Public.
shows they can't back their vote by physical force. As my master. Yes, they're not intelligent enough to vote. No.
And now it's time for an ad break. See you in a minute. Don't go away.
Militancy is caused by me and the majority of suffragists. None of the triumphs of the women's movement have been won by physical force. They have been triumphs of moral and spiritual force. But militancy has been brought into existence by the blind, blundering politicians. If men had been treated by the House of Commons as women have been treated, there would have been bloody reprisals all over the country.
And now it's time for the weather. Over to you, weather reporter.
As you can see from the map, women's suffrage organisations have spread throughout the country, from its origins in Manchester in 1903. Now, by 1910, there is a widespread organisation across the country, with 48 societies in 35 branches in the London and Greater London area alone. The speed of the spread shows how much support there is for this new movement and how many people feel that women deserve the right to vote. Also, membership to the NUWSS has reached around 21,500, proving the mass support there is for the suffrage movement. And it is not just women who support the cause. Thousands of men who also joined the cause and are trying to pressure the government into giving women the vote. The fact that in 1905 the Pankhurst family moved to London shows their dedication to the cause. It moved them closer to the government and gave them better means for fighting for women's rights. This dedication, I'm sure, is shared by many women all over the country.
A bill has now been passed in Parliament called the Cat and Mouse Act. Over to you, Fiona, at Westminster.
In recent months, the public have been outraged by the force-feeding of suffragettes undergoing hunger strike in prison. Suffragettes believe that they should be treated as political prisoners rather than just criminals. However, since they have received this title, many of them have gone on hunger strikes which have led to serious bad health. The government up till now has to release those too weak to carry out the rest of their sentence. This has caused many issues for government, as when women become seriously ill, they had to resort to the force feeding, which was very controversial. The Cat and Mouse Act had called an end to this system, as it enables the rearrest of suffragettes when they become healthy enough to carry out the rest of their sentence. This system will be in place until they have carried out their full sentence. Recent reports have showed that Emmeline Pankhurst had been rearrested 3 times under this act, as she persistently underwent hunger strikes. This shows the sheer dedication that these women have been caused to women's rights.
So that concludes our programme. So, Chloe, what do you think? Do you think the militant action by the suffragettes helped or hindered their campaign? I don't know, Hannah. Why don't we ask Zippy the cat? Good idea, Chloe. Over to you, Zippy.
In conclusion, we have found that the suffragettes both helped and hindered their campaign, with sources such as the Shrieking Sister portraying women in a bad light and damaging their position and their portrayal to the country. Due to the suffragettes, you can see how this was detrimental to their cause. But, in contrast to this, Black Friday and the spread of the suffragist movement through the country shows how the suffragette campaign did indeed help progress the situation and spread the idea further afield to encompass more people to help their cause. Therefore, with the sources being on even level as reliable, and with even sources to back up both opinions, we can conclude that they both helped and hindered their cause with their radical and militant action.
Thanks for tuning in at News at 10. Goodbye, and goodbye from me. Stay classy, England.
This is